Guys, she lost her hair, her humanity, and any chance of a peaceful existence, just like us, today on.
God, I hope my connection.
Don't time out on your over the intro.
Yeah,
Shit.
don't buffer over the info there, Chard.
He did time out over the intro.
Literally as we go live. Oh no.
Well,
is he done?
I'm gonna roll with it. Oh, here we go. Okay,
we'll fix it in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it. Well, no, we won't.
Okay. We're fine.
All right. Okay, well, welcome everyone to another episode of Press B to Cancel, your favorite podcast. Today, retro. I'm your host, Sinistar. I'm not alone, though. I'm joined with two of my favorite people. Chard, how are you?
I'm disconnecting, but I'm here. I survived. I survived the great disconnecting, but it's okay.
All right. And Jake, how are you?
Oh, it's been a week, but I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to talk about a really iconic franchise.
Yes, for sure. So, for those that may not have gotten the cryptic one-liner, it was about a little unknown character named Kerrigan from a little unknown game called StarCraft.
Amy Kerrigan.
Yes. Yeah. So, not Nancy Kerrigan.
No, Nancy Kerrigan.
Is that the one that held the lead pipe, or the one who
I think she was the one that got piped.
Okay. Definitely not our Kerrigan.
Yeah. All right. So we're talking at StarCraft. We're talking all things StarCraft, which all three of us have experience with. It is retro. I wanted to bring up that it was released in 1998. So It is old enough to drink and then some.
It was a high school favorite of mine. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's for those that don't know, for those that have been hiding in a box, this is a real-time strategy. It is based on the Warcraft 2 engine, but modified. Of course, Warcraft 2 was an amazing RTS as well. But this, to me, this kind of took it to the next tier, the next level. We'll talk the story in a little bit, but what do you guys have to say? Jake?
So when I got a computer late in life, I think I might have been 17, I think, when I first got my first PC, and I got it from a friend of mine. I bought his old PC. And as the style was at the time, I just said, just give me your PC as it is now. Don't worry about it. I'll just leave the games installed for me, which was something we would never do nowadays. But anyway, he had StarCraft installed on it, and I did get a chance to play StarCraft on my old computer. But then I had a hard drive issue, and I had to replace that 500 megabyte hard drive, and I lost it.
That was huge back then, man.
It was.
Yeah, it was, yeah. So I only got a chance to play a little bit. All I remember mostly from the originally playing it was the intro, right? This is another example of Blizzard used to nail the cinematics in the presentation. And as much as I loved Warcraft 2, when it came to the presentation and the style, StarCraft was it, right? Like they really went places with the style, the whole sci-fi setting, the Marines, and just the Zerg. Like the whole style of it was just iconic. So I didn't play a whole lot of it originally. I did later play a port of it on the N64. I rented it, and I can talk about that later on. So I have a little bit of experience with the first game, but it's more with the second that I'm more familiar with.
Nice. Chard, how about you? How about some recollections?
This was a first day purchase for me. I was a big Warcraft 2 fan when that came out, and I was like, oh, bro, they're putting this shit in space. Oh my God, let's go. Like watching the Marines march around. And then you get to play as all three races. So you had the three different races to play as opposed to just orcs and humans. Yeah. You get a third race that was in there. You get to play like you could be the enemy, or you could be like this weird alien race that's running around, and then the Terrans. You could be the humans and stuff. And then you could just kind of pick and choose. And I really dug that, it wasn't just reskinning of a different race with the same kind of characteristics. There were certain aspects to each race to expand or to work on that you had to work around, like the pylons or the creep,
Yeah.
all that
Yeah.
other stuff. I thought that was really fucking cool. And as we go deeper into the story, I'll tell you more stories of a buddy of mine growing up, and we were like we were the terrors that played this online, and we were really, really good for a long time. So
Nice.
I don't have any awards or anything, but I'll tell you, we had a lot of people rage quit when he and I were playing together. So
I played this game so much back in the day, and this was back in the day of like dial-up modems and the internet, right? I mean, this was
28.8, baby.
yeah, and
We're flying.
I played this so much that I dreamt strategies. I would wake up and I would
Yep.
have a strategy in my head. I would be playing the game in my dreams,
Yep.
and so yeah. So this, I'm with you. Warcraft. I mean, it was orcs and humans. Like it literally was in the name, right? And now we've got 3 races. Holy crap! And one of the things that Blizzard for sure did, at least during this era, was absolutely almost effectively perfection level balancing. There was always a way to defeat a strategy that another team could come up with. There was always a, okay, well, they've come in with siege tanks. Well, now I need to bring in flyers. Oh, they've got Marines. Well, now I need to bring in a ghost or whatever and shoot from the sidelines, et cetera. Right.
Nuke the facility.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And of course, the super weapons, right? The
Yes,
super weapons.
yes.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And like
Go
how
ahead.
hard that is to do, right? When it's like 3 races and they're all asymmetrical, right? They're completely different, like Char was saying. Is like, and I didn't quite realize that, but the orcs and humans, I think maybe one unit was different between the two. Otherwise, it was just appearances, just cosmetic. But
Yep.
StarCraft
they
was
had-
such a different game.
Yeah, there was like the bombers and the sappers, and there was the
Right.
whatever, and they were essentially they were pretty well a reskin, right? And
Yeah.
with different, I mean, obviously, one of the other things about Blizzard with these RTSs is every single unit had a great voice entry,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Checked up, good to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
in the pipe 5x5,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like so many different lines. It wasn't just 1 or 2 lines. Every character had multiple lines, and you could just sit there and click on them, right? That's the thing about the N64 version I played was they took all that out. I think every unit had 1 line, and otherwise it was cut out. Even the intro, they had a shorter intro movie, and then it was slideshows for the rest of the cinematics for the rest of the game, right? Because N64 things, you
Right.
miss so much
Cartridge.
because so much of
That
the
sucks,
charm
'cause
is really on the PC with that audio.
Even if you kept clicking, like they would give you like annoyed like quips, if you kept bothering them,
Yeah.
they'd say something like, "Would you stop? Like
Yeah.
move me or whatever." It was great. They really did some really deep thought into this
Yeah.
particular RTS, and I love like Rise of Nations, and I'm there's a couple other RTSs out there that I'm pretty good with, but to me, StarCraft was like pinnacle. This was like
Yeah.
peak RTS for me, and there wasn't much that could really tackle this. And I mean, we had StarCraft 1 for years before we
Yep.
even had a chance to play literal years, like
Right.
2010, I think.
I think it was a little earlier than that. Let's see. 2000. Oh, sorry. My mind palace is in the wrong place. I had the wrong thing. No, so the games came out and where's my timeline? Sorry, folks.
Well, because it was the original, and then it was Brood War, right? So there's
yeah, they had the DLCs.
No, you're right. 2010.
I know it was
for
because
StarCraft.
I had just started dating my wife
shit.
when that came out, and we went out and picked it up at a midnight release.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a long freaking time to wait for StarCraft 2 to come out.
Yeah.
Well, and to be fair though, I mean, I really feel like and when I still play this to this day. I played StarCraft a week and a half ago. And really when they came out with the first expansion, we'll get to the story in a minute here, but when they came out with Brood War, that was, I mean, I argue it's the perfect RTS. Like just the additional units and the balancing that they did was just flawless, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's so perfect. It spawned an entire industry in Korea, right? Esports was
Yes.
huge down there. I
Yes.
doubt they play StarCraft these days. It's probably League of Legends. But I mean, there's a
Right.
good 15, maybe 20 years. I think it was all StarCraft down there. And
Yeah.
a large
Yeah.
chunk of that was Brood War because of how balanced that was, right? Like to do a patch to StarCraft was you had to be very cautious what you're changing because it had a wider impact than just average players playing a game, right? Like the esports aspect of it was huge. But that game was one of the original esports, right? It was like that and Counter-Strike, really.
Yep.
Right. But I mean,
All
the
right.
quality of life changes on that are like massive. But we were getting, I mean, in 1998, we were getting games fully released. Like we're not getting this hokum crap that we're getting right now. That's like, play test it for a bit and we'll fix it as you play it. And you're like, no, when you first fired that thing up, you got some good stuff. And it was good.
And that DLC came on a CD, like a pressed CD. There was no downloading this. This was on a pressed CD. So
yeah, this was not DLC. This is back when we used to have expansions, like proper expansions, like meaty, yes, more expensive, but gameplay, mechanics, story, like
8 hours of extra content.
Yes.
Yeah. So real quick, let's talk story. Because my opening one-liner was a pretty direct reference to a character named Kerrigan. So the simple bullet-pointed story, I took notes today. I did research, guys. Millennia ago, an ancient species called the Zelnaga engineered two races, the Protoss and the Zerg, which are two of the races that are in the game. But then they were essentially largely wiped out by their own creation, primarily the Zerg. So basically, and then centuries before the game begins, Earth's United Earth Directorate tries to solve overpopulation and launches colonists into space.
Like
computer malfunctions, strands them light years from home. So they're cut off from Earth. They end up in what is essentially Protoss space. And the Protoss kind of try to hide, but then the Zerg basically are like, hey, we want to assimilate these because we see psionic potential. So basically the story starts, the campaign starts, and the Zerg are now going after the Terrans. And then you have within, and this was something, because I watched the cutscenes today as well. I didn't realize this because I haven't played the campaign in so long. This is almost a direct allegory to like the Confederate United States.
Yeah.
Like it is a direct, like they even use Confederate flags at points.
Yeah. It's the Terran Confederacy. Like it's definitely, and there's like Jim Raynor has a Southern accent, if I recall correctly. They lean into it.
Yeah. So, and then there's of course a terrorist faction who basically is trying to take over Mengst.
Mengst,
I think, and so he actually attracts the Zerg to the capital city and lets the Zerg kind of take it over, and then he abandons the people that are involved, including this character Sarah Kerrigan. And so she gets captured and she kind of disappears. And that's the end of the Terran side of the missions. And then you start on the Zerg side, the Zerg campaign. And all of a sudden you've got this thing that's incubating, and this mother, not mother brain, but Zerg Overmind, the
Overminds, yeah.
And it's, kind of talking. It's like, hey, I need you. It's talking to this thing that's incubating, and you kind of get these missions to go and learn the Zerg. And it turns out that the thing that's incubating is Kerrigan, who's been morphed into a human Zerg hybrid, and now known as the Queen of Blades.
Yep.
So she's
badass.
Oh yeah.
For those who are looking at the thumbnail or on the artwork of today's episode, you'll see that the Queen of Blades is featured prominently on the thumbnail. All hail the Necro Queen, but
Yes. Anyway, so she basically she deceives the Protoss because the Zerg and Protoss have kind of always been at a head since they were created, and she allies now with Mengst and Raynor. Raynor's this guy that has the southern accent. He's pissed at the Confederate because they left everybody to be captured by the Zerg, and she basically she has this battle that brings in the Protoss, and then she turns on those allies and allows the Zerg swarm to she gets control of the Zerg swarm. Basically, like she has a coup against the Overmind. And and so she becomes the dominant power in the sector. And then you get this double agent, Samir Duran, who comes in and says, "Hey, I work for a far greater power." And basically says that there's a Prog Zerg hybrid. And that's actually kind of where the campaigns end. So that's actually where like StarCraft 1 ends. So kind of left the story open for StarCraft 2. Now, I have never played the campaign of StarCraft 2. I have played the multiplayer a lot, and I love the multiplayer, but I have not played the campaign. I think Jake, you mentioned that you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, these games are it was more about the story. Like even going back to Warcraft 3, right? Which again, I'm not a huge fan of RTS games, but I played that game so much because of the story and the cutscenes and the cinematics. And it was much the same with Wings of Liberty. Like when I saw the trailers of that game, and I saw the hype my friends had for the original, which I'd played a little bit, but not as much as they had. And then I saw the trailers and the opening to the campaign. I'm like, I was hooked, right? Like the story in this game is so great. Like, was this before? This is after Warhammer, right? Like they took inspiration from it, Warhammer 40K.
Warhammer's pretty old.
I mean, Warhammer's old. Yeah, Warhammer was.
So they must have, because like the idea of like the Space Marine, when the guy's getting fitted with the armor, and it's like his prison. He's in, but there's just that and seeing Space Marines in Warhammer. I know they're different universes, but seeing that it felt lifted. But it was really iconic to see him in that trailer getting outfitted in the armor, and then to see Kerrigan in the trailers is badass, right?
Yeah,
like that was worth it. And then so I did buy it, and I didn't beat the campaign, but I played a good chunk of it, and the story is what kept me going the longest. The reason I don't finish the game is much like the other games like Warcraft is the defense missions where you have to stay alive for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
that mission alone is what makes me bounce off these games. Right, this might not honestly be a Sisyphean game for me, because I'd love to go back and play StarCraft 2 and all the expansions and see what the story was. I missed out on all that. But the defense missions, we're hanging on for 30 minutes, and it's the last 5 fucking minutes where they just throw everything at you. And that's where I crumble. Right. And that's what messes me out, because I like these games, but I'm terrible at them. I was more of an Age of Empires kid, right? So to play this was very difficult. But yeah, that opening sequence and opening story was pretty iconic.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and if I remember right, when I was doing my research today, I think that the Blizzard movie division, not movies as far as like, I mean, obviously they did the Warcraft movie, but I'm talking like the cinematics were kind of born for this. And then of course Diablo has its epic cinematics as well. But yeah, so like, and I love it because it's kind of those early like rendered, like the characters are a little bubbly looking a little bit, and
a little bit squat. Yeah.
And the mouths don't move right, and but I love that intro where like the Marines killing off the Zerg, and then he sees the guy that's just sitting there, and he looks over and he's like, "What's going on?" And the guy just points up, and there's the battle cruiser, and it's like, oh, so epic. Yeah.
So I know you played a lot of both, right? You may have not done the campaign for the second game, but you played the gameplay.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of the gameplay of the first game. How different was it in the sequel?
So, I mean, obviously there are a few unit differences, but for me, it was really, there were some quality of life differences added in StarCraft 2. Things like when you summon a worker, in the case of like the Terrans, the SCV, or in the case of the Protoss, the probe or whatever, it'll just automatically start working. It'll like, oh, I'm close to the minerals, and I'll just start doing. Where StarCraft 1, you have to do that manually, right? They added a quality of life that says like the amount of units that are idle, and you can go click on your idle, click on it and see what units are idle. So I mean, it really was the quality of life things. They changed some of the unit limitations, like on quantity, etc. But I mean, it's largely the same. I think there might be a couple extra units that I kind of never play with, because I'm like, hey, I'm just going to play StarCraft 2, StarCraft 1 style,
right?
So
bring the same strategy with you to the new game.
Yeah. It's like
it works.
Spin up your Protoss and go do blimp death, right? Let's go. Right.
Yeah.
So
the thing with StarCraft 2 especially was there was so much gameplay, you didn't even need to touch the campaign, right? This is the game that had really great modding support kind of built in. I guess they call them custom games. And that custom game systems is something they had in Warcraft 3, and that's why we have Dota, right? It came from custom games in Warcraft 3. Although I didn't get really anything similar in StarCraft 2, you could go on any other week when it was new and just hop on, and there was somebody had tinkered with settings and changed and made a complete radical game type every other week. Like there's always something new to check out in custom games, and I did a lot of that. I messed around a lot with that. I used to play around with the map editor quite a bit. It was definitely a game that's fun to tinker and play with if you didn't necessarily want to do the campaign too. So lots to do, lots of game in that. And then it got 2 expansions, which is
I think it's the original and 2 expansions.
And 2 expansions,
Well, so going back really quick to StarCraft 1, and this continued across to StarCraft 2, also the map editor. And that was one of the things that my family and I did, my friends and I did, were, we got tired of playing big game hunters map with 8 people. Let's go make a map, right? Like, I'm tired of chasing resources. Let's just make the turtle map so we can just turtle like mad, right? Yeah. And so, I mean, and they continued that. I do remember in StarCraft 2, another difference, and I actually love this difference, is the terrain height differences.
That's right. Yes. And it matters too. Yes. Yeah.
It does. Like, I love the fact that like you put siege tanks up on the higher ground and they can like bombard and stuff like that, right? So I absolutely love that. The issue that I kind of run into with StarCraft 2 is they did kind of make it part of that concept of like clicks per second or clicks per minute or whatever, right?
APM,
like,
actions per minute.
Yeah, actions per minute. And it's like you get behind if you're not the guy that rules actions per minute, right? And so and I'm old. I can't click that fast.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's my thing too. I was never fast at these games. It was definitely a game where if you learned the hotkeys for each unit type and the building type, that was key. And I never learned the shortcuts, and I think that's why I was never that great at these. Like, to see my friend who could send over like an early attack within like not even 5 minutes, 2 minutes, he's sending units at me when I'm barely still mining, right? I'm still building workers, and he's sending over Marines to take my ass out. I would never grasp that concept of it. But now I try and play it today. And the issue I have now is the other side. My other hand now, the mouse hand, is my hands. I have hand inflammation all the time. So like trying to use the mouse for these games hurts. And I installed StarCraft 2 for this episode just the other day to test it out again. And within 5 minutes, my finger was cramping. And I'm like, yep, not going to happen. I wish there was controller support, because there are other games these days that have controller support for this kind of game. So it's a game that I think if I could run it on the Steam Deck, because that has excellent trackpads for the thumbs, I might play it more. But for me to use this with the mouse today is not happening.
Yeah. So the whole actions per minute thing, like that. So there's a reason I think that I still play StarCraft 1 more than I play StarCraft 2. The other reason is, and we haven't talked about this yet, in 2015 or something like that, they did a remaster, and it's
2017.
it's one of those okay, it's one of those awesome remasters where you can switch your graphics like live. You can see the
Right.
old and the new, just like they did with Diablo 2 remaster, right? And they did all the voice recording. They re-recorded the voice, which is cool. They, and so they didn't break the game. They just made it look better and play on modern hardware. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you brought up in our chat on Discord, in our production chat, and I've seen this, and I look at it every once in a while. I'm like, should I buy this?
Oh,
And
no.
it's StarCraft 2 cartooned. Like they literally like make, but I don't know. It's kind of cool sounding too.
Yeah. I guess it came out in 2019, and it's like so it takes the graphics of StarCraft and re-themes everything, skins it as it reminds me of Among Us characters, to be honest with you. Although this was before Among Us, and it's neat, but I wonder if this is more of like a pilot, a test to see if people would buy these kind of things, and if this was a way to maybe have a monetization of StarCraft afterwards and have skin packs. But they never did more than one, as far as I can tell. They only did this one.
Yeah,
it's funny. I give it that. It's definitely interesting, but I wouldn't want to play a game looking like this. That would drive me nuts.
So like I don't want to hog the whole time here. What like, do you guys have strategies you remember? Do you have play styles that you remember? Do you have whatever?
I see. Oh, go ahead, Jared.
Well, when my buddy and I played together, he was the attack front and I was the defense front. I was the turtle, he was the attacker. So I'd build all the walls, I'd build all the fucking the turrets inside, I would fortify everything, I would upgrade all the buildings. When we played Terran campaign, and I always would I'd build an extra home base and I would fly it off. Because one of the cool features was that you could move your buildings. You just uproot your shit and fly away.
If you're Terran.
Yes.
Yeah, only if you're Terran. Yeah, that was one of the only Terran perks that was pretty cool. So we'd get like a basis down, and I'd get him an armory and a barracks, and I'd just be like, all right, start producing your shit. And then I'd start doing all the stuff inside the town, and people would start sending, you see battle cruisers like coming over the horizons, just getting absolutely annihilated by all of my turrets that I've set out for them, whilst we're building a secondary base up top. And I'm like, okay, northwest, go up to the northwest, you can start producing your shit up there. And I like a virus, I would just spread throughout the map and imprint where I could, and he would just build all the attacking stuff, and we would just destroy everyone. We had a lot of fun. It was a little different doing the Protoss and the Terrans, because obviously the Protoss have the crystals, the pylons. And you can only build within the perimeter of the pylon, which was very difficult to make sure I didn't. I put that in the wrong spot. Okay, we'll build around it. And the creep, you had to, when you were Zerg, you had to wait for the creep to expand before you could move your stuff anywhere else.
You'd have to have your creep generators,
Yeah. So there was such a crazy, obviously Terran was way easier because you could just kind of do everything right out the gate. So we played a lot of Terran campaign, but I really liked playing the Zerg, but it was just a level of difficulty that I was not at the time, nor probably now, have the patience, because you know me, guys, I'm not really super patient person to expand at a smart pace. I'm just slapping shit down. With the Terrans, it's like, I don't even need hotkeys. I know where everything needs to be. Let's do this. So.
You bring up something really interesting, because there was a mode where you could do team melee. It was one of the drop downs, and what was cool is you would pick a teammate. And if say you picked Terran and your teammate picked Protoss, you would get double the units, and you could actually build on both tech trees.
Oh, that's pretty rad. Okay.
Yeah, so we would do that. We would do that. We'd have one person like directing units and going and attacking, and the other person's back in the base building shit for them. So yeah.
For the Protoss, it was, they didn't build, they warped their units into the map or something, right? That was and they were slow to warp them in, I think, and less units on the map, but they're more powerful. That's what the idea was.
Yeah, right? So there's a couple benefits, because I'm a Protoss is my race to play.
Okay.
So the benefit is it warps in, which means your probe can actually go hit the warp and then go and start mining or doing something else. Like where with like the other ones, they have to build the thing. They have to sit there and
Right.
work around it until it's so you could have like one probe go warp in 3 things all at once,
Mhm.
but it is slower to warp them in. And yeah, the units are more powerful, but they're slower. But I also love the fact that the Protoss have shields.
Yeah.
So the Terrans you can repair. You can actually repair your units or repair the buildings. The Zerg have a heal, like they can heal over time. The Protoss can't repair or heal over time, but they have shields that regenerate. Yeah. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
think I
once again,
remember-
this is that balancing thing. Like they did
Yeah, a lot
a
of
really
cool
good
stuff.
job.
And it's yeah, like it's interesting that like they change it over time a little bit. Like they actually did a patch for StarCraft 2 for the first time in a while, I think a year, just like a few weeks ago. And they're already radically changing things like reducing the energy costs, or sorry, they what was it? The Ghost unit, which was the stealth unit, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
they made it supply increase from 2 to 3 and reduced the health, but they increased
Okay.
the damage,
Wow.
and the range is increased. And then what they do? Oh, but they made it beefier and more expensive, but they kind of lean in the idea like the Ghost is a solitary unit for sniping and hiding, so they made it easier
Yeah.
to have it camouflage. So like they're updating the game even now, which is pretty awesome to see
Yeah.
them go back to. Like I love that. But
Yep.
again, like doing something like the Terrans had their supplies were reduced from 15 to 13. That's what it says in the patch notes, which like
Okay.
it changes the game in terms of how many units you have on the map, right? So I don't know. I really
Yep.
struggled with the Zerg because there's too many units on the screen at once, and they're also
Yep.
weaker. Like they
Yep.
died easier.
Yep.
Right for the I always like the Terrans and the Protoss. The Protoss were always really cool looking, but I think the Terrans, I'm with you, Chart. I loved how you could just lift your fucking base up and peace out. Like I'm done. I'm out of
Well,
minerals.
there's nothing
I'm
more
gonna go
stressful
somewhere
than
else.
being like a nuke has been launched, and you're like, wait, what? What?
You're looking.
Like,
You're
where's
looking for the
ghost? I
dot.
gotta
Yeah.
find the ghost. Like you're
Yeah, you're
looking,
looking
for
for the-
anything.
The little
Yeah.
red dot. Uh-huh.
Yeah, shit's insane, man. You could see
Yeah.
them coming, and you're like, oh god, they're gonna destroy everything.
Yep.
But like the ability to like fly up is really great. I like the having small fire teams of Marines. It was easier
Yeah.
to digest and manage when I played it, right? Because this is a game where you want to have the different hotkey groups, right, to move them around the map.
Yep.
And I struggled with that with the Zerg. There's too much going on. But
Well,
Right.
and in
It's-
Brood War, they introduced the medic, and holy crap, the medic makes Marines like almost indestructible.
Yeah,
Like if I'm going after Marines with anything smaller than like a blimp, a carrier, I'm taking the medics out first because
Yeah.
otherwise they're just
just
healing the
healing all day,
Marines.
yep.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I like the siege tanks because you can use that as a turret to start, like before you could actually get the air to air turrets or whatever. You just pop those siege tanks in, and when you start seeing air units, you switch it back to tank mode, and it can then take on the other stuff. It was a really cool. There was some just really
Yeah.
cool processes you could do with this.
Yeah, and the tech trees are awesome. Like there is a very clear progression. Like I played an RTS called Kohan. I don't know if you guys ever played that one. But
It sounds familiar.
It took the concept instead of a single unit because I was getting a little tired of the minutia of the micromanagement of like every single unit, and it came up with this concept of squads, right? So you would move a squad, and it would be like, instead of like Marines, this is fantasy, so it's like pikemen, but it's like eight pikemen in a squad, and they just pop out that way and they're ready.
Right.
But one of the things that I struggled with is the tech tree was not, the progression felt weird. It didn't feel, sane. Where the tech tree progression in StarCraft is like, oh, okay, I need an engineering bay to be able to build this next thing, and et cetera, right?
Yeah. Rise of Nations does that too. They do the squad thing, which I really liked about that because you could just send like 20 folks out at once instead of, like you said, having to send. Most I can send is 8 at this time. Whatever fits in that little square box on the bottom of the screen. Which you had all those portraits in there. That's all you could. That's all you could send out.
Yeah.
So you're sending waves, and the waves are small. And you're like, when you play Rise of Nations, you're sending unit, like a massive army out at once, as opposed to one thing at a time. It felt like it just seemed like it was a lot to control so little people, and then you lose stuff things would be running away when they like you got one Zerg you're looking for. You're like, where is this stupid bastard? It's hiding somewhere. I've destroyed everything but this one fucking thing, and they heal.
Uh-huh.
So you're looking all over the place, and it was just a lot of the unit control was very challenging for sure.
I as I said, I play Protoss, and so I'll pull out a probe because it's a detector, right? It can see cloaked units, and then I just launch them to like the corners to try to see stuff, and then I forget that I've launched them,
Right.
and all of a sudden
And
I'll
they're
be
just floating there.
playing. I'll be playing, and I'll hear like your unit is being attacked. I'm like, what unit?
No one's even near me. Oh shit, my probe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I think we've all done that. Forgotten where our unit was.
Sorry, observer, not probe. Probe's the little base unit. Yeah, observer.
I think when it comes to like these games, I always preferred the slower RTS games where I had more time to think and plan what I was going to do. Whereas with StarCraft, I struggled with you have to really build things very quickly in the right order, and like you can't. There's no time to think, especially the early game. I guess it gets a little bit easier later on. But that early rush was always a thing where you either rushing or you got to be prepared to be rushed, and that first few minutes were very hectic. That's why like I would love to see another StarCraft. I'm surprised Blizzard hasn't done StarCraft 3 at this point.
Right.
But I wonder if they would do a slower, smaller squad based RTS game, or if they would just double down on StarCraft 2 style with big armies. I'm kind of curious what they would do.
I mean, are we? I worry. I worry that now that it's Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard, right? I worry
Great grandfather Activision.
I worry that basically we're going to see the Diablo and World of Warcraft show, and that's basically it, right? Like,
right.
Well, what's his name? I'm going to check my Mind Palace real quick.
And I love me Diablo. And I love me World of Warcraft, at least the classic. I like the World of Warcraft classic, but I haven't seen a really good RTS in a while. It feels like basically kind of the world was like, yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
Well, they keep going back. They've been revitalizing the old ones. Microsoft, speaking of the parent company, owns everything. Age of Empires is being brought back. Age of Empires 3 is getting a DLC that's coming out, I think, next year. They did Age of Mythical or whatever mythical version
Age of Wonders. Age of Wonders.
Is it Age of Wonders? I know it was Age of Mythology. I think it's what it was.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
So that had a remake a couple years ago. So they've been bringing those ones back. So I guess, and that's like one of the reasons why I think Blizzard brought, StarCraft Resurrected Edition or whatever they want to call it, or StarCraft Remaster. They're in vogue right now. You're right. There hasn't been a new one, so that's why I'm kind of curious. The guy who did StarCraft, he definitely did like the world and the story, or he's a big part of it. Was Chris Metzen. He also did a big chunk of I think it was World of Warcraft. He is actually back with Blizzard now, helping them guide the story of World of Warcraft. So it's not unfeasible when he's done with Warcraft, if they still want to keep him around, to have him do stuff for StarCraft. I could see it. Yeah. It's just odd. It's been so long since this game came out. You said 2010 for Wings of Liberty? That's a long ass time ago.
Yeah.
Yes, a long time.
I wonder if we'll ever get StarCraft Ghost.
Right?
Yeah.
God, we wanted that so bad. I was waiting for a third person shooter style StarCraft game. That would have been great. Honest to God, that would have been really cool.
Well, think of like
Gears
how much
of War, but StarCraft. Right.
Well, think of how much you love Space Marine 2 Sinistar when you played that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Ghost could have been, right? Like that kind of thing.
That's true. Yeah. I kind of have gotten, instead of Ghost, I've gotten StarCraft Marine.
Right.
Yeah.
Terran Quest.
Yeah.
Because like one of the best parts of this franchise is definitely the lore, right? Like the three races, we all know them by name, even if you're not familiar with the gameplay or the story that much. You've all heard of the Zerg. Everybody knows of the Protoss and the Terrans. Yeah. That iconic blue Marine with the guy chomping on a cigar, that stays burned in my memory. I know all these characters. Kerrigan is always ranked on one of the baddest characters of gaming in every top list you see. Like everybody's familiar with the lore so much. They just didn't do any more with it.
there is even a card in Cards Against Humanity that is you must construct additional pylons in all caps. Right?
Yeah. And like how many people know that without playing the game, right? Like it's just so iconic. So I know StarCraft Ghost had a ridiculous development hell, but I am surprised they haven't tried bringing it back, or we don't know how many times they've tried to resurrect it internally. And I guess it didn't pan out, but it just on paper seems like how could you not use these characters more or these
For
concepts?
sure.
It's crazy.
For those that aren't aware, StarCraft Ghost was an announced game where it was basically a first or third person shooter based in the StarCraft universe, where you play the unit of a ghost, which is it's a stealth character that can launch nukes or summon
Terran
nukes.
spy
Yeah.
ops, yeah.
Yeah,
They have
uh-huh.
they have rifles and
Sniper
their long
rifles,
range
right?
weaponry. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
So
Cool.
no, I love StarCraft. I was gonna say another strategy that what Chard, when you were talking about your buddy out there, like, fighting and rushing and everything. I remember a strategy I dreamed up and woke up one day and tried, and that was I set my rally point I was playing Zerg, and I set my rally point for like my main building into their base, and then just said spawn all the Zerglings, and just you would just see this constant stream of Zerglings just leaving my base, and all I kept hearing was your units are under attack. Your units are under attack.
Because you're sending 20 at a time.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep. There's some really cool setup for that game to make it a lot of fun. Yeah, I just love that no one game is ever the same.
Yeah.
It felt like, and if you're feeling froggy and wanted a challenge, you play as a Protoss, and if you were just like, I just want to pillage everything, play the Zerg, and then I want to take it easy, but I want to kill some shit. You play Terran, It's almost like hard, medium, difficult, right? The levels of each game of each.
Well, and I love that everybody kind of has their favorite race. Like
Right.
you're a Terran guy. I'm a Protoss guy, right?
Right. Yeah.
And like, even if you have your opening moves planned, right? Like in chess, you know what you're going to do for your opening first few moves. But then once you encounter the enemy and you see what their opening move was and their opening play was, you have to adapt so quickly.
Yeah.
And it just opens up. And you're right, it's never the same way choice. Especially, I love that. Just with 3 factions being so freaking ridiculously different is crazy. And I'm actually trying to think now of, is there another strategy game that actually has factions that are this unique? I don't think so. I'm thinking like Dune
Nothing
has some unique
stands out
units,
that
but not like
loudly.
this. Yeah, not like the Zerg and Protoss and Terran. They're so different.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, one of the you mentioned, like you start with your moves. You're basic like, hey, I'm moving my pawn 2 spaces, right? Or whatever, right? But like the other thing that you run into is like if you've built up your defenses enough that you survive, say, a first attack, you may have been fighting off that attack so much that now you're behind the rest of the game, right?
Right.
Because you have to go rebuild everything that got lost.
You've been prepping so much that you haven't been prepping for advancement. You've been prepping for getting rushed.
Yeah.
And then you wiped everything out, and now they got the upper hand because they've been building as they've been rushing you. There's a lot of balance, like you said. There's a lot of teeter-tottering on this, because then you feel like there will be times where you're like, I've got the upper hand. I've just wiped their base clean. You're good to go. Now I just need to find like the last thing, and you go all the way up, and in the corner, and there's a metropolis up there, and you're like, damn it. Like he got one out. How did they do this? Like it's insane. And then all of a sudden you see battle cruisers coming your way, and you're like, okay. Or the Protoss battle cruisers, and they're shooting the little ships are coming out, destroying everything as they
the carriers are my primary technique, man. They're my primary technique.
Yeah. Battle cruisers
you
were
say
hard.
there's ultimate moves or special moves like
no,
like
not the
nukes.
There's one like ultimate weapon, which is the nuke.
The nuke,
Okay.
right.
So yeah. No, the other races like the Protoss have, instead of like say nukes, they have the lockdown, right? Like they have the unit that comes in and can lock down other units, which this is the most insidious thing is you'll have a selection of units that you've got on a control key, and they lock down half of them and they disappear. You no longer have access to them.
Right.
And like you're just like, well, there goes half my strategy, right?
Right.
So
Right. And I like the Zerg could bury. I love that you could hide the Zerg in the dirt.
Oh, that's right.
And people would walk by, and you can jump out and surprise like all kinds of stuff. It was
they have the ultimate buried unit too, which is the lurker in Brood War. That's the
Right,
one that
right.
shoots the spikes out, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's
it's
such some cool shit.
yeah.
It's hard. You are hard pressed to find an RTS that has that
Yeah.
much cool stuff in it, like to play as.
Well, and the Protoss, so not the Protoss, the Zerg start with a detector unit, which is their
Mm.
like we call them cows, but they're overlords or whatever they are that
Yeah,
are
yeah. The flying farms.
yeah,
Yeah,
but they're
yeah.
the ones that basically determine how many units you can have, but they're detectors from the beginning, and
Yep.
they're carriers. So it's
Right.
like you don't have to build carriers. Like, so there's the Zerg. Zerg is all about like getting your shit in and like there,
And
you know.
annihilating. Yeah.
Yeah,
Drop them off. Spawning
yeah,
and destroying.
yeah,
Pillaging. Pillaging.
yeah.
Good times.
So yeah, you have to play different strategies, but there's kind of like it's rock paper scissors. There
Yeah,
is
for
like
sure.
literally oh, they have this. I'm gonna scissors instead of whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, to send something out to counter their other thing. It's pretty cool.
So,
Yeah.
and the campaigns. I mean, I didn't play the second one campaign, as I said. I should. You said this when we were talking before the show, Jake. I should, but the campaign for the first game is epic. It is an epically cool story. The cinematics are great. The voice acting is legit, especially for 98, right? I mean,
Right. Well, we were joking in an earlier episode that the voice acting in that period sucked usually for console gaming, but somehow in PC games,
in
some of the PC
Sony it
games are
did,
pretty
yeah.
good. Yeah.
PC had it down. Sony was
Yeah.
still working on their voice acting talent.
Yeah. But
so
the story in 2 is, without spoiling it, like it's Jim Raynor and Kerrigan, right? You get the conclusion to that story, and it's definitely worth seeing it through. Like, I've spoiled myself to see and watching cinematics. That's what I like, but I'd like to sit down and play through it. Like, again, just the presentation of the campaign, how when you're switching between the different factions, you get a different like area to talk to NPCs and explore. The upgrades are all different, and the story, like the person who gives you advice between missions is different based on each of the races. Like, they didn't have to go that crazy with how diverse it is for each of the different races. And again, it's just something you just don't see other games do. So, like, now I'm wondering if we ever would get a StarCraft 3, considering how much uniqueness there would be between the different factions. How would they pull it off?
I worry that, because Warcraft 3, I don't think Warcraft 3 was a failure, but I don't think it was the success that they were looking for. I don't think it was the success that they were looking for. I mean, it basically became, as you said, Dota, right? I mean, so I mean, they basically took and I played a fair amount of Warcraft 3, and the thing that Dota loves, I kind of hate, which are the commander units. I kind of hate those characters in Warcraft 3.
Okay.
Yeah, the Warcraft 3 heroes. I'm like, give me just the standard units. I just want to go create a big rush and just,
Right.
Yeah.
I don't mind the hero units, but the thing with those is then you end up focusing a lot of time and attention on one big unit, and there's already a lot going on as it is with all the other units and armies, and it takes your mind away. And StarCraft, if they ever did a third one, I always expected they would bring a version of hero units to StarCraft 3 if they ever did it. But that's why I'm thinking if they did it in this age of gaming, they would probably do the smaller squads, because otherwise it just players' attention span, I don't think could handle it. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just wanted the third person action game so bad. I wanted this world, but to be able to play it in different genres, right? Like, I'm not an RTS guy. I'm more of like an action game guy, more of a first person shooter or third person shooter. I would love to see them use this lore more. Like, I think I read a couple of the books. Like, there's a series of books based on this the lore as well, and that's great. Like, I eat this stuff up. Like, give me a movie or a TV show. But they didn't do any of that.
We need World of StarCraft.
There we go.
I would like that. But,
travel between the worlds or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead, we got a failed Overwatch, which is just a shooter.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's a cool series. I'm with you. I'm not poo-pooing that they should make a third one. I would love to see a third one. I have my doubts. I have my strong doubts, but
yeah, I mean, shit, it took them 12 years to do 2, so
yeah, I would love to be surprised.
Yeah.
So
pleasantly.
Well, awesome. Well, any other thoughts or anecdotes or anything like that?
Minerals depleted.
Yeah.
My wife's favorite phrase that she'd heard. Okay, I get it. You have no more minerals. Shut up. Like, I'm sorry. I'm running
Uh-huh.
low here. I gotta fight these guys off. I'm out of stuff.
Yep.
Minerals depleted.
Oh,
Still
and
says that to this day.
we used to take all the phrases, and we like, my favorite is, because as I said, I'm a Protoss guy. There's like the Protoss deity is a Dune, Adun. And there's like there's a class that comes out and says for a Dune, and we always say for a dude. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
So-
for
There
me,
you
this
go.
is one of those games where we talk about Sisyphean games and games we always want to feel like we should have beaten before. This is probably one of them for me. I just got to figure out a better controller situation, a way to play this game. Maybe I do just play it on a Steam Deck. I would like to go back and beat 2. The first game is probably a bit too old for me, but the second game I did enjoy. It's just that 30 minutes of defense was really a drag. Maybe I can lower the difficulty or something, or give it another go. It's been quite a long time. But yeah, I'd love to go back to this franchise.
And, speaking of the the survive missions and stuff like that, one thing about those missions is in the campaign they give you a progression to introduce units really well. Like it's almost that like that Mario Brothers, that Super Mario Brothers, like, oh, if I hit this thing, I get a coin or a mushroom. Oh, I can jump on an enemy or whatever. Like it gives you that, hey, this progression is built into how you play the game. That is part of those campaign missions as well, is you're going to learn those units because you got to survive with them for 30 minutes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. It starts limited and you get more options as you go, but with more options it becomes more complicated strategy. You're right. They do onboard the player really, really well in that game.
Yeah.
For sure.
So.
Heck yeah.
Sweet. Well, yeah. So if you have any urge, people, and you have either you love the RTS world and you've never played this, or you want to dip your toe into RTS and you've never played an RTS, these are both good reasons to play the StarCraft franchise. So
it's quite possible that you won't want to play any other RTS after you play this one because they're so good.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. I mean, Warcraft is great too, but Warcraft for me is all about like the funny anecdotal voices, because like, quit poking me.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, I'm happy to call that an episode. We've been doing super long ones. It's probably good to not have a 2.5 hour episode. Our wives will be happy.
Yes, for sure. Till I run off to go stream something later.
We got some housekeeping though. Shout out our fine folks on Patreon, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have a Patreon. We do this because we love it, but if you want to support us, it does help us because we do have some costs involved. So we do have a Patreon. It'll get you things like a different color on your name in Discord, or etc. And if you pay at a certain tier, Circus Charles or above, you get your name called out. And we have 2 Circus Charles and above members. That's Cthusiast Jeff and Von Beardley. We appreciate them very much.
Hell yeah.
But if you don't want to pay Patreon, we just love you spreading word of mouth. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. We have a Discord. If you want to know how to get there, we have a website, www.pressbtocancel.com or pressb.org. And come over to the Discord and tell us what you love. Tell us what you hate about these games. Tell us your strategies. Tell me why I'm wrong about loving the Protoss as much as I do.
You know what I'd love to hear is what other people are playing RTS wise these days. What is the game you're playing now? Because like there has not been that many released recently, except for remasters of old ones. So I'm kind of curious. Like, have people moved on to Total War? Is that what you're playing? I'm kind of curious. What's the RTS game you're playing now, if you're into the genre? Because it seems a bit slim pickings. So I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, absolutely.
That Dune RTS looks good.
I was going to say, I forgot to say I started with Dune 2, which was an
Oh, yeah.
RTS, and moved over to Command and Conquer Red Alert, and then I found Warcraft and StarCraft, and it was all over.
Yeah, Spice Wars looks pretty good. I've
That's the
been
new one,
eyeballing
right? Is
that
that
for a
out
while.
this year?
Yeah. It's been out. I don't know if it's been out since I thought it came out last year, but
Is it an
maybe was this
RTS or is it like a strategy game?
Yeah.
Like
There's the strategy game one that came out this year, and then Spice Wars came out like last year, and that's more of an RTS.
All right. I'll have to
Definitely
check
one
it
that
out
I've been
because
eyeballing.
I started with Dune 2, right? Which is
Right,
funny
yeah.
because Dune 1 was not an RTS, and Dune 2
Yeah.
was an RTS.
Full circle,
So,
baby.
Yeah.
interesting.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, folks, we appreciate you all. We're here on YouTube on Fridays. We're on your favorite podcast apps the following Monday. And if we're not, yell at Jake.
Sure.
And
Wow.
yeah, I mean,
I'm
you
used to
know, we all
Here's
yell
Jake's
at Jake.
address. Go kick his door down.
We all yell at Jake.
In exchange, you
Yeah,
get to listen to me talk about bags of milk on a weekly basis, even if it's not funny anymore. I'm just going to keep doing it. 'Cause I put up with the abuse of you guys.
6%.
It's 6%. It's still 6% funny.
Yep.
6% Canadian.
You guys
Bag
want to shout out
barrage.
anything you guys are doing? How about Jake? Jake, do you want to?
Yeah, I am still doing ranking of Mario. There'll be one on Sunday. I just haven't figured out what game it's going to be, but there will be one on Sunday. I'm going to record it probably Saturday night and put it up on Sunday. I'm been having a lot of fun playing through all the old Mario games, especially the bad ones, because yes, there are bad Mario games. Otherwise, if you're watching this over the weekend, Marvel took on Fighting Spirit. It's a very anime take on Marvel Heroes, Marvel vs. Capcom, done by Arc System Works. I love their games. Open beta this weekend. It's nice to get in there and check it out. I don't think
Berserker
I'm
Barrage.
that they took that line out. So started, you have Steve Bloom voicing Wolverine, and they don't have him say Berserker Barrage like the old games. It seems like it's a criminal act. I'm expecting them to mod
Maybe
it.
it's unlockable.
Maybe it's unlockable.
Yeah.
That damn well better be. Anyway, the game is fun, but it is not Marvel vs. Capcom that I was expecting. So I was thinking maybe I can record something, but I have to think about it. I don't know how much I'm going to play it. I'm certainly not going to buy it. But it's neat, and it's a cool style take on Marvel heroes. Like it's anime Iron Man and Penny Parker in a Spider Mech suit, and like it's really interesting character designs. So I don't know, maybe check that out.
Carnage.
All right.
Carnage.
Carnage.
Yeah. And Chard, what about you? You got anything going on?
I might do some solo funnel runners tonight because one of my biggest fears in life is tornadoes, and this is pretty much exactly something to scare the piss out of me. So I might be running some of that this evening, and then we might be trying to button up Amnesia the Bunker. I've also been working on a retro pie, and in doing so, I have dove in deep into the waters of the Dreamcast and the Saturn, which are not systems that I know Wolf absolutely adores both of those, but I have not myself tampered with much of those things. And I am finding some things that will probably appear on my channel at some point here in the near future. And kind of deciding on doing like a retro horror Friday for stuff like that. And then doing some of the newer stuff as the weekends progress that are longer. And I'm just waiting until September, guys. Once September gets here, I get to get some Silent Hill.
Yeah.
And then when October gets here, we finally get to play Tenebris Somnia, which I'm super freaking jazzed for. I had completely forgotten that was coming out on the 16th of October. And Halloween season's fast approaching, so there's going to be a lot of really good spooky games that are going to be coming out.
I'm going to get my Hellraiser.
Yeah, that's another one that
Control
I'm probably
count because Control 2 is coming out in September.
Control 2 Resonance comes out as well.
Control was definitely horror-ish.
There's some horror aspects to it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
that's you know me, I'm spooking myself in chat wherever I can. So come and check us out, and then next week will be my weekend off, so I'll probably be working on stuff around the house.
All right. Twitch.tv/Chardmonk. So awesome. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate your time. And I think we call that an episode.
I think you must construct additional pylons.